Good morning, Tottenham fans. Big changes are happening at Spurs. Vinay has come in. Donna Cullen has already left on his first day in the club. They've promised there's going to be a lot more changes going on. Are these changes going to be beneficial to Spurs? Are they going to be improving the way Spurs do things? Are they going to be putting more money into signings? Are they going to raise the wage structure? What does this look like? In today's video, I want to talk about what I think they should be doing if they want to improve this club. There's so many people against Daniel Levy, against the board, that want them out, want Enoch out. How can they turn that around? How can they get fans back on board again? So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about what they can do. They need to change the fundamentals of how to run a successful football club. And for me, the first thing they need to do is make this football team a priority. Now, I'm no expert in running a football club. I'm not trying to say that. But as a fan's perspective of what we expect from the club and what we expect paying all the money towards the club and spending all our time going to games, going to away games, travelling and paying for expenses, hotels, what we expect from the club in return, as the fans are the most important part of this club. So firstly, make the football team your priority. Yes, you've got lots of concerts going on. You've got boxing matches going on. You've got your racetrack there. That's all good. And I'm all for bringing in revenue. It's very important. So we can, but use it for the team. Make the team your priority. Use it and do things to show us that you've got the ambition to go out there and say, right, we're Tottenham Hotspur and we're going to be a bigger club than we already are. We need to start signing players that show ambition. We need to start signing top class players, maybe even world class players. When was the last time we bought a world class player? We've had players that have turned into world class players like Harry Kane, Gareth Bale, Luka Modric. We've had those players, but we didn't sign them before. They turned into world-class players. The last world-class player that was in his prime that I can remember is probably Raphael van der Vaart. And going even further back than that, Jurgen Klinsmann. That's not good for a top club like Spurs. You just saw how big this club is. We won the Europa League and there's 250,000 people on the streets celebrating this, in a parade. A small club wouldn't have that. This is a massive club, and I think that even shocked Levy. I think that shocked Ange Postecoglou, how big we actually are. So we need to show the ambition by signing some top quality players, even if it's just one per season, and just build on it. We're not buying any. Not world-class players. That's what I'm talking about. Other teams do it. I hate to say it, but Liverpool were looking at buying that Florian Wirtz. Now he's a top-class quality player, and they're trying to get him in through the door. Why are we not trying to do that? Not the same player, but on the same sort of caliber. We have, this is what we have got in our favour. We have stadium. Brilliant stadium, the training facilities. We've even won a trophy now, so we haven't got that trophy curse on our backs either. We're in the Champions League now. So we should be able to attract top class players. There's no reason. So why do we not attract these top class players? I'll tell you why. And the second thing that this club needs to do, we need to raise the wage structure. We need to pay these top class players the wages that they would command if they went to another team. We sign players, and I don't mind the wage structure the way it is, what we're doing, but it doesn't work if you want to get top quality in. It works well for up and coming really good players like we bring Van der Ven in, quality player, started them off on low wages, and then with performances, he will get new contracts and higher wages. So they're earning their wage as they progress through the club. But this won't work for top quality players. And the reason why it won't work is because these top quality players can get that money at any other team in the Premier League. So if we've got all of that, the Champions League, the stadium, if we've got all the attractions we can have, we've won a trophy now. So we look like we're heading in the right direction. But then that player will get offered double, let's say Liverpool for now. And then he'll go to Liverpool. It happened with Diaz as well. I think it happened with Hazard back in the past. So we've seen it happen time and time again. So we need to raise the wage bill for sure. That's two things now that if the club turns around and starts doing, the fans can get on board with that. And they'll get off their back. They really would. Another thing that the board would need to do is communication and planning. It just feels like all the other clubs seem to be doing business faster. They seem to be communicating what they're doing faster. It seems like we're always left in the dark as fans, and it's very, very frustrating. They need to treat our fans, us, with more respect, be more open and honest with us. Listen to them. What do they want? Listen to the fans. What are their needs for the club? The fans are the heart and the soul of this club. Without them, Spurs would be nothing. This is a working man's game, a working woman's game. So stop raising ticket prices and silly things like that are just stopping the working class person from even being able to afford to come to games. These little things are just big things to people like us. Treat us with a bit more respect. Just in this past week, there's been mass speculation on Ange Postecoglou's job. All because there's been no communication and no proper planning from our board, yet again. They've not confirmed anything, even though there's mass rumours. Spurs fans have said to me in my comments, well, they don't need to say anything, he's got a 2-year contract. That is a fair enough statement, but I disagree with it. There was 2 scenarios coming into the Europa League. Ange wins it or he don't. If he don't win it, he would have been sacked. If he did win it, then you make a decision. Are you still going to sack him or are you going to keep him on? Make that decision 2 months prior to it actually happening. That's called planning. Plan ahead. They should have planned for each outcome and then proceeded with what they were going to do 24 hours after it happened. Rumours of Ange being in or out is not great for the players that are already at the club. It's not great for players that potentially could be joining the club. It's not great for Ange Postecoglou. The transfer window's open now. We can't even plan for players at the moment because they don't know if this club is stabilised. If there's no stability in the manager, there'll be no stability in the team, no stability in the players, no stability in the club. So the planning and communication needs to get a lot better. But to be fair, this new guy, Vinay, that's taken over as CEO, apparently he's very, very good with communications. He in his previous job, he had a good communication with the fans. He was open and honest with them. So I'm hoping if this is true, he can carry that on to our club. And hopefully we can start getting more communication. Just more like what's happening with our club. Because we're always left in the dark all the time. One thing I can praise the club for, and it's another thing that the club needs to carry on doing, is youth policy. We've brought in some very, very top young players, not fully developed yet. Our academy is bringing a few really good players coming through. We're signing some top young players as well. So I can praise the club for that, but they need to carry that on too. We just need now a mix of those academy players and youth players with some top class players for them to even just learn off. That would be ideal. All these things I've mentioned today are fundamentals, I believe, as a fan, looking at it from the outside, what a fan wants from their club. These seem like very simple things to do too. I know obviously the structure of pay. I don't know anything about finances, about what they're doing with their finances, how it all works. But for me, it's a fundamental to, if you want to compete at the top with the top teams, and I believe that's where we should be aiming with a massive stadium like this, and with the fan base that we have, and the history of our club, we should be trying to compete at the very top. We really should. So what I've mentioned today is the fundamentals. The wage structure needs to be better. Sign top class players. Concentrate on youth and bring in some top youth players through. Think about what the fans need. Be open. Plan better. Communicate with us. Do these things and this club will go in the right direction. And I'm telling you now, if you do these things, there'll be no fans on your back. There'll be no fans trying to call you out. Everyone could get on board with it. Everyone would be happy with what we're trying to achieve. If we did all these things, showed massive ambition, and at the end of the season we didn't win anything, nobody can complain that we're not trying. But we've got a motto: to dare is to do. And I haven't seen that motto being played out by us for many, many years. We seem to be afraid to do because we're afraid of failure. Now, you can only succeed if you're not scared of failure. Failing to succeed. It's crazy. We need to dare, we need to do, and it needs to start this summer. If there are big changes going to happen, these are the fundamentals that they need to start working on. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and come on you Spurs!